What if Homo erectus still alive today? Imagine if Homo erectus, our long-extinct ancestor, still lived alongside us in the modern world. A species that once roamed the earth nearly 2 million years ago suddenly reappears among our cities, villages, and forests. The world we know would never be the same again. Homo erectus was one of the most successful human ancestors. They survived for hundreds of thousands of years, migrated from Africa to Asia, and developed simple stone tools. If they still existed today, we would be sharing the planet with beings that looked like us, yet were not entirely the same. Physically, Homo erectus had a more robust body and a smaller brain compared to modern humans. They stood upright, had strong jaws, and more pronounced facial features. If one were to walk down the street, people might mistake them for a uniquely shaped human, unaware they came from prehistory. The big question is, how would Homo erectus adapt to the modern world? Could they learn to use technology, or would they cling to hunting and gathering like their ancestors? Its interaction would determine their place in human society. Picture Homo erectus entering a modern city. The roar of cars, glowing streetlights, and towering skyscrapers would all be alien to them. At first, they might appear lost, but with their basic intelligence, they could gradually learn, just as humans once did from their environment. Communication would also be a challenge. Homo erectus did not have complex language like ours, but they relied on sounds, body signals, and facial expressions. If they were alive today, linguists might attempt to build a language bridge so that mutual understanding could exist. Their presence would spark ethical debates. Should Homo erectus be considered humans with equal rights, or just another protected species? Such questions could reshape our laws, politics, and even religions. Would they be acknowledged as our distant brothers and sisters? Ecologically, Homo erectus might prefer forests, mountains, and remote areas. They could remind us of how our ancestors survived with nothing but natural resources. Their existence could become a living laboratory for studying human evolution in real time. But the modern world is full of dangers. Pollution, new diseases, and environmental changes could threaten their survival. They would face a choice: maintain their ancient way of life, or adapt to ours, both options fraught with challenges. What if Homo erectus began learning technology? Imagine them using smartphones, wearing modern clothes, or working in farms and factories. The blending of prehistoric beings into civilization could reshape society in unexpected ways. Still, their smaller brains might limit their ability to grasp abstract concepts, mathematics, or advanced technology. They would likely focus on practical tasks: hunting, gathering, or building simple shelter skills at which they excelled. Education would also transform. Universities could open special programs to study Homo erectus directly. Their children might sit in classrooms alongside human kids, learning to read, write, and adapt to the modern world. Social life would become fascinating to observe. Would Homo erectus form their own communities, or merge with modern humans? Perhaps there would be villages where ancient traditions endured, attracting tourists from around the globe. But interactions might also bring conflict. Discrimination, exploitation, and fear could easily arise. History has shown that differences often breed tension, and Homo erectus could become the target of prejudice. On the other hand, they could symbolize diversity. Their existence would remind us that humanity is not a single form, but part of a broad evolutionary spectrum. They would show that we are just one branch of a much larger tree of life. Even the entertainment industry would change. Documentaries, TV shows, and even reality programs might feature Homo erectus navigating the modern world. They could become global celebrities, prehistoric stars in the age of technology. Science would seize the opportunity. Researchers would study Homo erectus DNA to understand their genetic differences from us. Perhaps they carry immunity to certain diseases or vulnerabilities to modern viruses. These discoveries could revolutionize medicine. In farming and hunting, Homo erectus might thrive. Their natural instincts could make them better at navigating forests, rivers, and wildlife. They could even teach us how to live more sustainably with the earth. The question of interbreeding would inevitably arise. Could modern humans and Homo erectus produce offspring? History tells us Homo sapiens once interbred with Neanderthals. If it happened again, a new hybrid generation might emerge, bridging the past and the present. Politics would also feel the impact. Imagine debates at the United Nations. Should Homo erectus have voting rights, land ownership, or the freedom to live independently? They be citizens or a protected species? Religion, too, would face profound questions. What role would Homo erectus play in the grand design of life? Do they possess a soul like us? Such spiritual debates could shake centuries-old beliefs. In the military sphere, some might try to exploit Homo erectus as soldiers or laborers. With their physical strength and endurance, they could be seen as assets. But such practices would ignite fierce human rights protests. The economy would shift as well. Homo erectus could become part of the workforce, or spark entirely new industries in tourism, research, and entertainment. Businesses would compete to capitalize on their existence. Ultimately, the presence of Homo erectus would not only challenge science, politics, or economics, it would test our humanity. Would we treat them as equals or as exotic relics of the past? If Homo erectus were still alive today, our world would be richer, more complex, and filled with ethical dilemmas. They would serve as a living mirror of our origins, reminding us of the long road we traveled through evolution. Perhaps, by living alongside them, we would finally learn to value the journey that made us human.